Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session based on emotional triggers. And as humans, we all have emotional triggers. None of us are immune from it. Sometimes we might be triggered into being frustrated or sad, upset, angry, annoyed, whatever it might be. We all have these triggers, and that's natural and that's perfectly normal. Where it can become a problem is if someone was to stay in an unresourceful emotional state for too long. And you can look at depression as one of those unresourceful states. Generally, when people feel depressed, they don't feel like doing too much. And it gets this kind of circular loop where, because they don't feel like doing too much or being very sociable, it then gives a feeling of disconnection, which can lead to more of those sad emotions, and it kind of self-perpetuates. Anxiety also has this kind of circular loop where if you're anxious about doing something, you can never get the evidence to disprove that fear is unfounded. This particular client wasn't really experiencing, let's say, depression or sadness. It was more shame, guilt, this feeling of expectation that they should be doing something, and sometimes fear as well. So you're going to hear two key things. One, a way of having an element of detachment or perspective of emotions. There is a fantastic Stephen Hayes metaphor for anxiety, which uses leaves on a stream as a metaphor to have that objective detachment that also mirrors the temporary nature of emotions. You'll hear that in here. There's also a link to a movie reference. So if you're familiar with the very first Keanu Reeves movie, The Matrix, then there's that, which is a bridge to talk about accelerated learning and new ways of thinking about things, but also an element of what's called behavioral triggers. If you're familiar with, let's say, the conditioning of Skinner and Pavlov's dogs, there's that. In NLP, it's called something else. It's called anchoring. So you can hear that. To be able to move away from unresourceful, disempowering emotions, to extract all the wisdom and the lessons, because all emotions are useful in the right context, to take the value of the emotion, but more importantly, to move to a more resourceful emotion. My belief system is that someone that can move from an unresourceful to a resourceful state quickly has a huge edge compared to someone who gets stuck in a particular resource state, and particularly if that resource state isn't that resourceful. And you could say anger for a long period of time or sadness for a long period of time isn't that useful. So I believe it's a huge superpower to be able to do this, and this uses direct suggestion, metaphor, and certain frameworks to be able to harness empowering emotions. Clearly, like all of my sessions, it was created for a particular individual. Not all of the suggestions may make sense. You may not be familiar with the first Matrix movie. Some of the references might not really connect with you. So if you are interested in a bespoke hypnosis session, if you feel that you are easily triggered into certain emotions that aren't helpful for you, maybe that's anger, maybe that's something else, there will be a link in the show notes to schedule a completely free consultation call to explore working with me. For now, though, find a quite comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a slow, relaxing breath. And as you exhale, just allow tension to be released and feel it leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in and breathing out with your eyes closed. Notice you can focus your attention on the sound of my voice. As you breathe in and breathe out, while you're focusing on the sound of my voice, I want you to see if you can notice the tiny grooves in your fingerprint or thumbprint between a finger and a thumb. Notice any ridges. Feel those tiniest of inflections. It's not perfectly smooth like a sheet of glass. And the more you focus on the tiniest of subtle changes, bumps, grooves, the more mindful you become. Become equally mindful of your breath. You're not just breathing in, you're becoming aware of that breath. Breathing in through your nose and feeling the air, the sensation in your nostrils. Feel the movement perhaps as your chest or diaphragm rises. As you exhale, maybe you can notice which parts of your body are moving. Your shoulders, rib cage, those tiniest of sensations there in your gut. Breathing in and breathing out. And just notice that the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. And the longer you exhale, the more that you are releasing any tension, any stress, any emotions that aren't serving you right now. As you feel those leave your body, you create an emotional vacuum. So imagine on the next inward breath, you're breathing in those resourceful states to fill that void, enabling you to become more and more resourceful with each and every breath. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine how it would feel to be sat on a chair, offered a choice. Maybe the choice is a red pill or a blue pill. Or maybe the choice is a comfortable, easy delusion or a hard truth and reality. Most people would take the easy route. But if you're willing to take a more difficult path that could lead to profound change and evolution, let me know by nodding your head. And in doing so, imagine taking the pill. And as you swallow the pill, suddenly everything changes. And you could imagine being in some kind of futuristic capsule. Perhaps you could imagine unplugging tubes. Maybe there's liquid that you've been submerged in. Feel like you're leaving the capsule, and imagine how you would feel to then walk into a futuristic spaceship. Maybe you enter through an airlock and then find yourself in that futuristic spacecraft. Normal gravity inside the spaceship. And I want you to imagine somewhere in this spaceship is a room with comfortable reclining chairs. Maybe this is a way to harness the power of the Matrix. I want you to imagine being on that reclined chair. And because this is just your imagination, I want you to imagine that there is some kind of connection there at the base of your neck, at the top of your shoulders, an interface, almost like a futuristic plug socket. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and you will feel deeper and deeper relaxed on that futuristic reclining chair. And when I arrive at 1, you will imagine something will be plugged into the back of your head, enabling you to access the deepest parts of your subconscious mind that we can call the Matrix. 10, just feeling a wave of relaxation on that reclined chair. 9, eyelids feeling heavier and heavier and heavier. 8, releasing any muscles in the jaw, around your mouth. All the muscles around your face and mouth, just feel them loosening, softening, that's it. Breathing in and breathing out as 7 becomes 6, and just release all of the muscle tension around your neck and your shoulders. Feel a desire to yawn, even if it's just in your imagination. And then 5, just feel that your arms are getting limp, loose and heavy, sinking into that futuristic chair. 4, imagine your internal organs are all relaxing, releasing any tension, deeper and deeper relaxed. 3, your gut releases any anxiety. 2, into your legs now feeling limp, loose and heavy. And then 1, feel a sensation of something being plugged into the back of your head. And 0, just imagine you are in a pure white room. Everything is white. You can't even see any walls. You are in an infinite white space. And what if we consider the Matrix your conditioned emotional responses? That for a while now, certain emotions come up, and you just feel that you have to stay with those emotions for as long as they tend to last. Sometimes they go away quickly, and sometimes it can take days. But I want you to feel a powerful distinction. These emotions aren't happening to you. You are creating these emotions. Your beliefs, values, and in particular, evaluations, consciously or unconsciously, determine your emotional state. And what if emotions of all kinds were the most valuable gift in the universe? What if every single emotion served a function? I want you to get a sense that every emotion that you experience is valid real. Every emotion is reconnaissance. Every emotion is functional. But just because something is functional for a moment doesn't mean it's functional forever. Somewhere in that infinite white room, I want you to imagine a stream next to a large deciduous tree, and imagine it's autumn. The leaves are turning brown, falling off the tree into the stream, and I want you to notice every leaf is real. Every leaf is valid. But the stream will continue to have the leaves flowing down that stream. You can never experience a single emotion for any longer than perhaps 10 or 15 minutes, maybe less. So if you're experiencing emotion for days, it's because you are taking a leaf that's already traveled down the stream and using effort to bring it to the same place it was before. If your unconscious mind acknowledges that it requires effort to stay in any emotional state, let me know by nodding your head. And therefore, any unresourceful emotion doesn't require effort to change it. It requires effort to maintain it. And sometimes all you need to do is to let the leaf flow down the stream. But what if you could do something even more powerful? What if every leaf was a gift? An opportunity to evolve or to harness the energy in that leaf? What if you could extract the value and the utility before the leaf floats away? I want you to think of a recent emotion that, with the benefit of hindsight, you would consider undesirable. I want you to imagine seeing yourself like you're someone else, observing what triggered that emotion. Observe that that emotion was real and valid, but maybe not that useful, at least in the way you were expecting. Maybe the utility of the emotion is a belief to change, a new boundary to introduce, a decision to make, or maybe to teach you how to effortlessly move from one emotion to another. That's it. Imagine in this room of infinite white, you're able to reprogram your mind as to what emotions really mean for you. Again, notice the unique patterns in your fingerprints and allow yourself to be fully present in this moment, drawing your attention inward to a place of calm. From this point forwards, mindfulness will be a stepping stone to access any new emotion. To be fully present in a moment can wipe a slate clean, can give you a blank canvas, is the equivalent of Control-Alt-Delete on a computer to give you the ability to reset and move forward effortlessly. Like the leaves on the stream, remind yourself that every emotion, whether joy or discomfort, is temporary, and will pass, just as you observe it coming and going. Your emotions are real and valid, and before you release any emotion, ask yourself, what is it teaching you? Where is the gift? And take with you the lessons it offers, leaving behind only what no longer serves you. And you can focus on any physical sensation that accompanies your emotions and imagine it transforming into a sensation of comfort and reassurance. And when you breathe deeply, let this breath be a powerful anchor, bringing you into a state of peace and resourcefulness whenever needed. Notice how you can utilize a sound, a smell, a touch that brings you an emotion as unique as your fingerprint. And let this sensory experience fill your present moment. Each time you feel an intense emotion, ask yourself, what strength or quality can I draw from this feeling? Let this question guide you to your inner reserves of resourcefulness and wisdom. And if you acknowledge that every emotion is useful in the right context, then it's possible to express gratitude for each emotion that passes through you, recognizing its purpose and contribution to your growth. Even if you experience guilt and shame, you could be grateful for that, because that emotion means you're not a psychopath or a sociopath. You are a caring human, capable of empathy and change. At any point in time, you can choose to focus on aspects of your current experience that uplift and support you, allowing other elements to gently fade away. Your imagination can be an anchor. At any point in time, you can create a mental image of a peaceful place. And maybe whenever you observe the details in your fingerprints, you could imagine that peaceful place. Using the combination of mindfulness in the real world and the peace and tranquility of your imaginary world to be a stepping stone into a new emotion. And as you experience challenging emotions, you can dilute them linguistically, but also reframe them as opportunities to strengthen and refine your resilience. Imagine each unresourceful emotion as that leaf floating down the stream, watching it drift away until it's out of sight, leaving you clear and serene. And with each step you take, you could imagine yourself walking away from old emotions and into a new state filled with potential and positivity. And I want you to imagine in that infinite white room, seeing a future version of yourself, a black belt in emotional mastery, harnessing all emotions, switching effortlessly from one emotion into another, into whatever is most resourceful, depending on the context that they are in. And acknowledge that this future version of you is possible for you. You're already on the journey to emotional mastery. You can use sounds as anchors. Smells work great, but there might be sounds like the ring of a bell, the chime of a clock, or perhaps unique sound that you could save on your mobile phone to trigger highly resourceful states. Maybe even a song, a melody, a rhyme. And use the rhythm of your breath to pace the transition from intense emotions to a state of clarity and insight. Breathing out tension, breathing in resourcefulness. Tune into the wisdom of your body, noticing how it naturally seeks balance and allowing it to guide you back to a state of equilibrium. You are an emotional alchemist with the ability to transform the energy of emotions like guilt or shame into a fuel for compassionate action towards yourself and others. And see that future version of yourself, that version of you with emotional mastery, handling similar situations to those that have been problems in the past, but this time with effortless ease. And draw upon this image to inspire your current state. Whatever is possible for your future means that it's attainable in the present. See the stream disappear and the tree, and see the whiteness of the room turn to darkness, and then feel like something has been disconnected from the back of your head, and find yourself back there in a futuristic chair, feeling relaxed, but taking all of the changes from the matrix back into your present reality. But what if your present reality is just a matrix within a matrix? A thought within a thought, an idea within an idea, a dream within a dream. And I want you to imagine teleporting back into your present moment, listening to my voice as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect fully into the present moment. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, empowered, and looking at intense emotions as a gift to empower your emotional mastery. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.